Hello, everybody. I am so delighted today to bring you my friend Madhuri Michele. And in the short time that we've known each other, things have really been moving and synchronizing in just incredible ways. So I'm a little bit off today because I've been sick this weekend. But I'm going to let Madhuri take it away and tell you all about what she does and how we've been able to collaborate and co-create.
All right. I was not expecting that. I thought maybe you would ask me some questions and stuff. Okay, so
I
I'll
can ask questions. This is all very casual. People, you may not know this audience, but we do not prep people at all. We don't give them any preparation questions or let them know what's going to happen. It's just a spontaneous chat.
okay. Well, I can start. So just to give you an idea about how I met Carolyn, I am fairly new in the coaching industry and the personal development industry, but old in life. And I had come into a new community and just shown up for the first time. And I put something in the chat, and Carolyn grabbed me. She immediately reached out across the ether and she just grabbed me and said, "You're someone I want to know." She said, "I was just about to leave. I wasn't finding what I needed, and you're exactly what I'm looking for because I love to help people get their word out in the world, but it's not my stellar position to launch people. I like to get them the tools and get them working, but it's not what I do specifically to launch people." So she said you take people through launch. So let's
And you
back up.
also were talking about your ideal client and how they are heart led and spiritual and those key words that are like, that's exactly who I'm working with too.
All right, so I forgot something. So this is what it was really about. So I have two names up here, Madhuri and Michele. And Madhuri is my name and it comes from India. And it means sweet, sweeter than sweet, sweet like the nectar of divine love, and sweet like the relationship between Radha and Krishna. And Carolyn recognized that because we have a lot in common. And what we have in common, among other things, is our values. Because I've come into this industry specifically because I think it's time for a change. I think it's time for us to come together and work together and support each other. And that's a set of values the world is coming around to now, but it's kind of slow. And so when I met Carolyn and we started to have these discussions, that was what it was on the basis of what it means to be a change maker, what it means to be someone who's really invested in making a difference in the world. And we share some things in common. For instance, we share a huge desire to align ourselves, to have strong values, to practice integrity, and to put our service out in the world. So, Carolyn has been my amazing helpmate in what I've been doing. She's actually helped me over the last few weeks just to start to get my message out there. She helped me coordinate it, she's given me feedback on it, she's added her flair to it, and she's put me on the road to talking about what it means to go from a world that right now is really strongly focused on self aggrandizement, greed. Everyone is fighting for themselves, everyone wants a piece of everything, and there's not always enough to go around. I don't believe that. I believe that there's a synergy that comes when we work with each other. There's a gift that comes when we share our talents. And so, with Carolyn's help, I'm putting that to the test.
I
So,
agree so much. And I came to the realization recently that I do not want to try to do everything. I don't want to try to be all things to all people all the time, right? It's craziness. So finding the right key people that can be part of that community and collaboration is so wonderful, so that we can support people in a really holistic way. If, like, I might do one piece of it, but I know the right people to help with other pieces so that it all comes together.
So Carolyn is talking about the business side of things. She's also talking about the life side of things. So in business, what I've been working with is helping people get really clear about who they are, helping them put words to their value so that they can step up and confidently go out and put their value out in the world. Because I want to see people actually accomplishing that. We get kind of worn down, we get a little bit stuck. Um, there are so many things that demand our attention, and until we choose to focus and point our energy towards something we believe in, it's really hard to get out of that mire. Now, I spent years traveling with saints, traveling with and serving saints. And the gift of that is when you're doing that kind of work, all of these concerns that you have, they're not there because they don't survive in the moment. These are the symptoms of long planning and long indoctrination and long efforts to please and all of these things, which are natural to all of us. And it's, I don't have so much to say about that except that I'm mired in it too. But my goal and what I have come to Carolyn for her support in is to work towards a new paradigm. Work towards a paradigm where it's like we're all fingers on these unlimited hands. You need two hands to do something, right? But all of these fingers are necessary because if you just have club fists, it's really hard to use your hands. So all these fingers are all the people we bring into our community who give us the gift of insight, feedback, support, inspiration, all of the really nifty things that make our lives worthwhile. So I want to promote Carolyn because Carolyn is very, very good at making that stuff tangible. I'm really good at talking about it. I'm really good at dipping inside your soul and helping you see it and then helping you figure out where you bridge that to business and work in the material world, and specifically how you might want to launch an online business, which is putting the gift of you out there, the gift that says, I know that the reason I'm here is to bring value, and that value grows in magnitude when I share it with others.
That's beautiful. So do you feel like most of the people that you work with are kind of just getting started in the online business? They kind of feel a calling, but they aren't sure what direction to go?
Honestly, I've met a lot of people like that, and they usually aren't ready yet
Hmm.
because there's a pivot point you come to. You come to a place where either the pain is so hard or the gift is so enormous that you're bursting to share it. So there's a place where people come to. So most of the people I'm working with right now, some of them are starting out, but they already are well formed. I heard someone say, it was a coach, it was Alina Vincent, say, if you've been doing something for 2 or 3 years, you're an expert. And we've all been living a lot more than 2 or 3 years. We've, we're all experts in life. And what happens is when you start to dream, when you start to build a community around you, and when you start to dream of what you could do in the world if you had the support that you needed, that support might be money, that support might be people, that support might be training, opportunities, a lot of those things. When you start to dream about that, there's an internal shift that comes. And for me, it just, it lit me on fire. It's like you have to make a decision. And then, so I'm 63 years old. I'm tired. I've been pretty heavily depressed. I've been living with the sense of not having purpose. But when this sprouted in my heart, yeah, I still get tired. but I'm determined. And I still have challenges, but I ask for help. And I still don't always know where I'm going, but when I ask, the guidance comes. And the best thing is it doesn't even really matter what you put out in the world. It's more about who you're doing it with, who you're doing it for, and why you think the world will be so much a better place if we work this out together.
Yeah. So it really is people who have a calling, who feel a compulsion and a need to help and serve and get good out in the world. I've definitely had that feeling before in a few different ways of just feeling like I have to step up and do something. And it's so fulfilling when you listen to that call and you find a path. But I like how you say it's less about what you're doing, and it's like who you're doing it with, you said, and your own heart. It's the putting yourself out there and your full self out there that really makes the difference, I think.
Now, I'm going to qualify that a little bit because the qualification here, and this is one of the reasons I love working with you, Carolyn, is that, yeah, I've traveled to India. I have a spiritual practice. I'm a mundane girl. I live in the world. I need to make a living. And in this world, energy and personal development and all of these things, they're much more concrete. And a way a lot of it is acknowledged is by earning a living, making money, because that's what we do. If you're a parent and you're raising children, if you're a school teacher and you're raising those kids up, you want them to be able to take care of themselves. And in this paradigm, we need money. So I do believe it is possible to make money ethically. And my job is to help you get out there and make money by putting the very best you out there. So I'm working with people right now. I've got a software engineer. I have a woman who helps overstressed moms have fun. I have a woman who will help you organize your home just so you can get to the place where you have mind space, space in your head. I'm working with this beautiful energy worker, and she's helping us unload our burdens so we can get out there and do the work we have to do. I've got someone who's working with people to, he has an academy, he calls it an academy, to help people stave off things like diabetes and the diseases that come when we're sedentary, when we're unhappy, when we're not putting that energy out. Because what happens is if we have any of this inclination in our lives, in our hearts, and we do not use it, it's like you have something inside of you. It gets tired, it gets old, it decays, it breaks up, it doesn't serve. Because that, like, say you take a piece of fruit. When that piece of fruit is fresh and you eat it, you are so energized. And we have to eat fruit regularly, right? To keep our energy up and all the different things that we eat. But if we leave that food out and we don't eat it and we don't take that energy and we don't go out there and use it, that food just rots. So it's kind of like even inside of us, the dreams that we have inside of us, if we don't unlock the gate and put them out in the world, then all of our loved ones aren't getting the best we have to offer either.
Mm.
The world isn't getting it. Our loved ones aren't getting it. We're not seeing outside of our little pocket. And what shifts when you put your love in the world and your work in the world and you get the feedback that you need that says that you get money for it, you get acclaim for it, you get association for it, you get the feel good of you made a difference in somebody's life. You light a bunch of candles and it grows and grows and grows and the ripples go out. That, once you've tasted that, there's no going back.
Yes. Love that. Absolutely. So you have a group and people come into that group and they get coaching from you and a lot of collaboration opportunity. How do people get started?
I'm sorry, how do people get started?
How do people get started working with you?
Okay. All right. Everybody I have working with me, I met because I was in a course, in a marketing course, and I decided to offer my services free of charge because that's how you get to know people. That's how they get to know you. Yes, we talk about coaching. It's a lot more than coaching. And coaching is an industry which has become really focused on knowing, liking, and trusting. Now, I spent a lot of time serving saints and hanging out with monks, and the way whole communities in the world work is through know, like, and trust because we all have that place inside of us. So, what I did is I just started asking people, and the people I started asking other people. And those people, again, they asked other people. So I got a bit of a little train. So we go out there and we start our first program, and we started. It's called a direct ask. You ask people, "Do you want to come on this journey with me and see what we can build out of it?" And what we've built out of it is beautiful because there's this thing called a mastermind, where what you're really doing is you're using the cooperative energy, the cooperative intelligence, the brilliance of everybody in the group to support each other, because that gives you an overall synergy. Now, going forward, I'm going to be working with a lot of people that I haven't had as much opportunity to work with. So I'm going to end up working with them in the same way. Like I've been on what we call a gift giveaway, I'm going on a summit. I offer anyone who picks up my small gift an opportunity to meet and talk. And I've always successfully given value in that time because we need a key to unlock things. And usually the key to unlock something is the mirror. It is the opportunity to be face to face with somebody who can see you, can ask you the right questions, and can maybe either give you some guidance along the path, offer to bring you on board, or send you to the people who are going to bring you the closest to the goal. So you have a launch pad. So what I've been doing recently, it's kind of a launch pad. But my people, some of them have never been in business. I have one who's a painter and an artist, and she does restoration. But she knows to do the work she loves, she needs to reach a wider audience. So in my group, she's learning about how you reach a wider audience. So that's what we teach. So you come on board. Again, I have people who have already launched a course. We've been launching online courses and what we call brick and mortar in-person courses. And some of the people who've come there, who've already launched a course, they come there because there's the gift of synergy and the gift of watching others launch and the gift of now that you've gotten your feet wet, because it's we can't launch ourselves. We cannot put the full value of ourselves out in the world because that takes others. We need others to mirror us, others to tease it out. So what we do is we start with campaigns. We start with a small thing that gives you a win, that gives you a taste, that shows you what it might feel like, and introduces you to someone who gives you a little bit of a taste more, and then you build a pocket of people around you, and you get excited, and you have a little bit of, I'm going to call it power, because then you can invite wonderful people like Carolyn to come and hang out in your group and share her gifts and her wisdom. And, eventually you have an explosion. We're all getting launched. So I know this because I got launched. And my first program out the door has paid me 40% of my annual income because it doesn't cost me very much to live. Okay, it's a very small thing. But just think about it that way. If you're living small and you're giving your heart, then the steps that you have to take are not insurmountable. With the right people, with the right team, with the right love, with the right support, every one of you can go out there and build your dreams.
Oh, that's so beautiful. I definitely will encourage everybody to get on a call with Madhuri. Like she said, there's always some kind of value. You just talk, and her inspiration, I don't know, it's like you're channeling something. So definitely worth giving it a try and seeing what kind of possibilities open up in your mind.
So I've never been on a podcast before. How do we um, give people the information to check in with me? How does that work?
I'm going to add your link to the show notes.
Okay.
So when this goes up on YouTube and Anchor, then there will be a link in the description, and we'll add it to the comments on LinkedIn and Facebook so people can look there to get their call with you scheduled.
I love it. I love it. I mean, this is my joy. This is my passion. I've done it all my life. Over this last year is the first time I've done it for money. Um, but we all have this within us. Every single one of us has the spark that is enough to set a fire or roar. So, yeah, come hang out with me. I'd love to talk to any of you.
Wonderful. Do you have any last parting advice or tips that you would like to share?
Yes, I do. When you look at your life, don't have any regrets. Everything you've done in your whole life has prepped you for where you are now. And everything you've done, even that drudgery job, brought you value. So don't rewrite the script. Know that you were always present for everything you did. You always did the very best you could. And now you're ready to pivot into the next place, the next gift, the next step. And it's easy as that. Most of what you have to let go of is this, it's kind of an erroneous belief that we did it wrong.
Mm.
You can't do it wrong. It's not possible to do it wrong. What you do is a contract with yourself. I have this thing, I call it, I have a program I call LEAP, Level Up, Engage, Accelerate, and Prosper. And what I say about accelerate is we think of accelerate as being in a car, right? You put your foot on the gas pedal and you're out there racing, right? Well, every single one of us is in a race. And what I discovered when I started doing this work and offering it to people, a much larger audience, is yes, I'm absolutely in a race, but it's a race with my lower energies. Each one of us, there's this game called Duplicate Bridge, and you play it with, you might have a bunch of tables, and two tables get stacked decks, and they are exactly the same. The cards are all in the same order. And you deal out those cards. And so you have two tables with the same cards. One table is going to win, and the other table is going to lose because of the individual choices. So same deck of cards, different results.
Wow.
So I'm looking at life as duplicate bridge. Now, how am I going to take that deck of cards that's like everybody else's deck of cards, and by infusing it with my heart and putting my energy in there and becoming friends with my playmates, you get results.
What a great metaphor. I love it. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on and spending this time with us, Madhuri. And I'm going to end things there. So hold tight for a moment while I stop the broadcast. Thank you, everybody.